I'm Chaotic Tunes, and as I mentioned on Friday, I'm gonna make a video on how you can choose the right artist for you. So, let's get right into it. The first thing is choose an artist that has a style you like. There are millions of styles out there, whether it's cartoony, whether it's anime, realistic, western, or old school, black and white. There's a million different artists that have a million different, styles. So don't get discouraged if at first you don't find an artist who has a style you like. Um, Often, what you can do is find an artist who has a style of something that is similar to it and ask him, hey, is it possible for you to do this? And they will be honest with you. They'll tell you, yeah, I can do this, or no, I cannot do it. But just make sure that if you're gonna pay the money, you get what you want. You don't want to end up disappointed and get the end result being something that's entirely different. Tip number 2 is often if you go with popular artists, or sometimes not even that popular artists, they have a very long queue time, or they just in general have a queue time. So it's good practice, and just for yourself to ask them what their queue time is, because sometimes they'll have a queue time for months, and you will literally have to wait months for your commission to even start. All right, I'm not saying for them to give you the commission, just for them to start it. So just make it a habit that if you're gonna be commissioning people often, or if you're just gonna commission someone for the first time and you need this piece like right now, ask them what the queue time is. It will save you so much time, it will save you a headache, and honestly, you don't really want to wait several months for a piece. Tip number 3 kind of goes along with the second one. Not so much on the queue time, but ask them how long does it actually take them to complete the work. Because queue time is one thing. Queue time is the amount it will take for them to actually begin working on your piece. But the delivery time is something entirely different. Again, it really depends on the artist, because some artists might have a very simplistic style and they can tell you, oh, you know what, I can have this done in a week or in 2 weeks. Or you might want a more complicated piece and the artist will have to tell you, you know what, it's probably gonna take me a month, it's probably gonna take me 2 months, however it takes them. You probably want to know just how long it'll actually take him to finish a piece, because this will add more time on top of the queue time, and you don't want to end up paying the cash and then having to wait a month for them to start it, and then having to wait another month for them to finish it. That's 2 months that you just kind of threw away waiting for that piece. Maybe not thrown away if it's exactly what you want, and if that's the case, go for it. Just make sure you're patient, and if the artist tells you, hey, it's gonna be 2 months before I even deliver to you, just don't pester them about it. Number 4 is kind of a tricky one, but in my own personal view, whenever I get commissions, I either ask for full upfront or at least half upfront, because I know some people are not comfortable just giving their money away to a stranger online. It's kind of a scary thing, because you work for that money, and for it to just be taken away like that kind of sucks. But at the same time, from the artist's point of view, if the person's like, yeah, I'll pay you when you're done, that's kind of sketchy too, because you don't want to put in all the work and then send them the piece and they just ghost you and you never hear of them. You just did all that work and the money is nowhere to be seen. So a good tip I can give you is don't give them all the money up front, and give them a portion depending on how much it is. Let's say if it's a $20 commission, give them $10. But if it's like a $100 commission, don't give them $50. Give them $25 for them to start it. And if they're giving you updates and they're giving you progress status and things like that, you can give them another 25. That way you're at 50. And once they tell you, hey, the piece is completed, send them the rest of the money. But just for good consciousness, I recommend you don't pay up front. Maybe pay a small fee up front, but don't pay the whole thing up front. You don't want to lose that money in case it's a scammer. And speaking of scammers, tip number 5. If you're gonna get an artist, make sure they are at least somewhat known, or they have an online presence of some sort, right? Because if you're an artist, most likely, I'm saying 90% of the time, you will post your art somewhere, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, or some other app. I can guarantee you they posting it somewhere. So if you come across someone and they're like, oh yeah, I'll do your commission, and then the price may be a little too cheap for what you're asking. I'm not saying the price being too low is a dead giveaway. Sometimes people do emergency commissions when they need money, so they cut their prices a lot. But if something seems off, or even if it doesn't seem off, I strongly recommend you ask them for some sort of social media account. Typically, like I said, it can be Twitter, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. That's usually where people post their art. Sometimes they do it on Imgur, and sometimes they do it on Reddit. Just ensure they have some sort of online presence. And the last tip I'm gonna give you, this is a little bonus tip: compliment the artist. They're people too, and oftentimes they have lives just as fulfilling as yours. And just like that, they also have very stressful lives because they have to balance, regular life, and then they most likely have a regular job, and they're overwhelmed. They're stressed often. So just give them a little compliment, and you don't know, that might take you really far. Maybe next time you commission them, they remember you and they're like, hey, you know what? I'll give you a lower price, or maybe they bump you up in the queue so your drawing comes out sooner. Just treat them like decent human people. Seriously. As a matter of fact, do this to anyone who works in the customer service area. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I'd really appreciate if you dropped a like. I really like doing this, and even if not a lot of people watch, it's kind of fun to mess around with all the editing, video, and drawing. It's cool. I love this. But if you enjoyed the video, really, drop a like. It means the world to me. Drop in the comment section below if you think I missed any tips that would be helpful to anyone who wants to commission an artist. Nonetheless though, if you enjoy my content, I'd hella appreciate if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. The subscribe button is right down there. It's bright red and it's entirely free. So I really like it if you did it. Nonetheless though, I hope you have a wonderful day. And until next time, don't do drugs, because those things are bad for you.